So everybody, this is Jonathan Kersting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council, having my continued conversations with Comcast because they are our partners here at the Tech Council when it comes to all things IT, all things connectivity, and all things cybersecurity, because October is Cybersecurity Month, Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we have someone returning back with us, not unfamiliar to the Tech Vibe Rodeo. Here is Dan Shetterly, Director of Enterprise and Direct Sales for Comcast Business in the Keystone region. That's one of the longest titles, but I love it. Dan, welcome back to the show. I'm really excited to pick your brain about this big study you guys just released around some cybersecurity trends. I mean, it's so important that you guys do this work because we need to always know what the current threats are, what's going on out there, and best of all, how Comcast is there to help, for crying out loud. So thanks for hanging out with me today.
It's great to be back, Jonathan. Good to see you again.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, I mean, first off, you guys just released this really intense report. I just love the fact that you guys do this work. This to me, it is the 2024 Comcast Business Cybersecurity Threat Report. So give us let's just start with the big picture, like what this report's kind of showing us and what's going on out there. Give us the big picture, man, that we should all be thinking about right now.
What we're seeing in the current cybersecurity landscape, it's defined by significant and constant change, driven by sophisticated threat actors. And I think due to threats becoming more frequent and more serious, in the Pittsburgh and surrounding area, we see decision makers at local companies more focused on security of their networks and their access points, such as remote end users or laptops, than ever before. Business owners are putting more focus on their employees as well, being compliant when it comes to a security policy and training. When it comes to the initial access of cybersecurity attack, phishing continues to be the most significant. Businesses large, mid-sized, small, they're all at risk of attack. And despite what leaders may know, Cybersecurity Awareness Month is a great opportunity to further educate leaders on the tools that are available to help them.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up those two that we see all the time. I mean, those are something, and those are changing within themselves for as big as those topics are. I'm always just curious though, what are some of the other things you're seeing out there? There's some other things that you're seeing that are popping up, like DDoS attacks and crazy things like that are becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, we're very excited about this report. We started publishing these reports in 2022. And this year, in the Comcast Business Cybersecurity Threat Report, it shares an overview of the landscape based on the analysis of over 29 billion cybersecurity events that Comcast Business detected for our customers in 2023. And that's a huge number. Overall, this report shows, how the threat landscape is intensifying, and that breaches shouldn't be treated as a possibility, but considered something that's going to happen. It's going to be an eventuality.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's not the what is it gonna. It's like, no, it's gonna happen. That's why you got to have the right tools in order to keep you safe. It's just a necessity out there these days.
What you'll see in the report, there's a couple of top trends that stand out.
Yeah.
The phishing is the first one I mentioned, and then the DDoS that you just pointed to is another one, and then ransomware attacks. Just to dive into the specifics here, phishing, it's a fraudulent practice of sending emails or other messages that mimic a reputable company. And the sender uses that to trick people into revealing personal information. It really remains the most significant method for initial access. Over 2.6 billion interactions detected by Comcast this year. This underscores the need for a robust phishing technology. User education is one of them, and email security software. The other two, DDoS, or distributed denial of service, and ransomware attacks, they're also leading the charge with cybersecurity threats. We saw 984 million devices launch service disruption attacks. So to dive into the weeds on that one, DDoS attack is a malicious attempt to disrupt traffic to online sites by flooding the target with unwanted traffic. And then ransomware, it is what it sounds. It's a type of malware that blocks access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid.
Those are the nastiest ones out there as far as I'm concerned. And when you mentioned that number, I mean, we can't even count to that number in a year if you just kept counting. I mean, that's how many. So it is just literally happening 24/7. It's unrelentless. So when we go back to the original point is, it's going to happen to you at some point. It's just a numbers game at this point. And so that's why having the right solutions I know Comcast has allows us to know that the bulk of this is being taken care of just through your technology alone.
It's something that we need to be thinking about. It's something that that users need to take stock in. I think there's a lot of different products out there that they can employ, but doing a little can go a long way.
I mean, so what has like triggered this uptick? I mean, obviously every year, every month, we're seeing more and more and more. Is this ever going to level out? I mean, I feel like it's always going to be escalating because it's once again, I go back to it's a numbers game. They keep launching attacks, keep sending those missiles over, and something's going to get through at some point.
I think AI is enabling threat actors like never before. I mean, generative AI in particular is helping phishing attacks be more effective and believable. A common example is how Gen AI is impacting phishing is where deep fakes, someone online's point of view, it can be shared videos or audio files. The audio can be used to develop or mimic the voices that are to appear to be like a company leader. Gen AI is being used to even create new malware, foregoing the need for hackers to have coding expertise. I mean, think about that.
Interesting. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, they're using Gen AI to actually develop these attacks and deploy them and everything like that. When that just makes it all the easier, and they can just keep doing it and keep changing it, and so that threat keeps going up. What are some of the things that Comcast offers that helps protect us around this type of stuff? Because I'm one of those where I'm always like, man, you go to a place like Comcast, you're using your stuff for your connectivity, these other packages, like what do I build on top of everything that I'm doing that allows me to do business every day?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of ones: endpoint detection and response, managed detection and response, EDR, MDR. There's solutions that are essential to help against data breaches. Organizations should implement a continuous real-time monitoring for all critical assets. I think also when we think of companies evaluating their systems and applications, those with known vulnerabilities, I'll also regularly update with the latest security patches. They should develop and have an incident response plan to handle zero-day vulnerabilities and high-severity threats. And also, the employees should be familiar with a plan to conduct regular drills in response to those things.
Oh, absolutely.
But we can go into a lot of different solutions. And I think the stacked model of defense in depth we'll get into next. And this makes their systems more secure and reduces their risk of breach. With a strategy like this, we integrate specific layers of advanced security solutions into our customers' infrastructure. Each layer serves as a barrier, reducing the risk of a single point of failure and ensuring that one layer is breached, a subsequent layer is provided, a strong layer of security there. Our solution portfolio is deep, and it includes real-time threat detection and response, simplified security operations, cloud-based solutions that provide flexible defense, such as SD-WAN. It provides secure access to cloud applications from anywhere. We talked about DDoS and secure access, service edge, and then a unified threat management and more. So those are just a few of the tools that we use for that defense in-depth strategy.
The layers are where it's all at, as far as I'm concerned. You got to have them like bolstering each other. And the fact that you can work with Comcast to get the right layers in place and make it seamless and easy, to me seems like a win. I love having these conversations because I keep learning new things, and I want to arm our listeners with this information because as it changes, I'm glad I'm talking to experts like you, Dan, around this. I mean, I'd be curious to know, how have you seen these solutions like actually working in the field and stuff like that? It's got to be pretty fun to see some of the cases where you're like, that something was launched against one of your customers and your technology was able to just take care of business for them.
Yeah, well, it's exciting to see it work. And while I won't name any names, we've definitely helped local businesses improve their security posture by creating these custom solutions. We protected major health systems from international threats. We've stopped attacks where, that were methodical and leveraged multiple tactics. We've helped companies and customers build up protection in record time, very fast turnaround time when they realize vulnerabilities, just to name a few examples there. But, it's exciting to see the solutions work and to get the feedback from our customers.
Oh, without a doubt, man. That's just so cool. That is so cool. I mean, what are some key takeaways from us? Like, if there's always something we can kind of walk with. First off, I want people to go and read the report that you guys have, because it's an easy read, but it's full of some great stats that are just really goes to show you how I just believe, and now I think I'm proven by your report, that cybersecurity is something every business has to make exactly top of mind. It has to be a top priority. Something happens, you could lose your business. Simple as that. And so, what are some of the key things that people should be thinking about, especially now as we're heading into 2025? It's that time of year we start thinking, what am I going to do next year? And everything, almost like our New Year's resolutions around cyber.
Well, that's a great question. And again, I would also encourage the listeners to read the report. You can find it on business.comcast.com. I would say a couple of things. It's important to know as a key takeaway that a security solution is not difficult to get in place. That's the first one. It's not hard. You don't have to go through a long, drawn out process. And secondly, you don't have to be a cybersecurity expert, to manage this. You can have a true partner in this journey. And then a little bit, taking a step to get advanced protection will go a very long way in protecting your business. So don't think of, I have to do everything now. Take a step, put a solution together, get it in place, get that monitoring set up, whether it be DDoS, EDR, and get started. It can go a long way to keep your network protected and your employees safe from those hackers.
It's great insight. I know one thing that I think everyone needs to think about, and I think you'll probably agree with me on this, is as many companies do business with other companies, especially if you're doing business with the government, there are so many levels that you have to have in place. And so being able to work with someone like Comcast to go in there and layer these things on appropriately as you need them, I think it's just so important, because you're going to have this moving forward if you're going to be doing business out there. Simple as that.
Absolutely. You need to have integrated layers that work to defend against the hackers, and a defense in-depth strategy is definitely what you need to do. And there's no one product that's going to solve everything. It's a layered approach and a deployment that makes sense for your business.
Very cool. Well, Dan, we have links to the report in the podcast here. So we want to go check it out. They can go click on that. And I really encourage everyone to do it. It's a great read. And there's some great, the numbers you're talking about, you're talking like these hundreds of millions. It's just, those are numbers that are unfathomable in our brains. We can't count that high. That's how I always look at it. So Dan, I can't thank you enough for being part of this. And once again, giving us some great insights to keep our businesses running, keep our businesses connected. Without that, we're not making money, right?
Absolutely. It was great being here again today, Jonathan.
Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. In case you forgot, this is Jonathan Kersting with the Pittsburgh Tech Council, having conversations like this each and every day to arm you, our listeners, with just fantastic knowledge.